In 1954, a serial killer roamed the skies over Europe. It carried no bombs. There were no terrorists, no lightning strikes, no violent storms. Yet two of the most advanced airplanes of their time tore themselves apart mid-air like crushed soda cans. The culprit looked so harmless, you might still be resting your head against it every time you fly. A window, and not just any window. A square one. Sounds like a dry joke. Right? I wish it were. But there was a time when four elegant 90-degree corners were enough to rip open an aircraft cruising more than 10,000 meters above the ground. A place where you can't simply reach out and fix things, like tightening a loose kitchen cabinet. This story begins with an icon, a sky-high idol, and it ends with a chilling lesson in physics that forced the aviation industry to redesign its future. Let's rewind to the 1950s, the era of jazz music, tailored suits, and dreams of flying beyond every limit. Britain proudly introduced a masterpiece, the de Havilland Comet. This wasn't a slow propeller plane. It was the world's first commercial jet airliner. Higher, faster, smoother. Passengers stepped aboard feeling as if they were entering the future. And then they saw the feature that made everyone gasp with excitement: large, sharp, perfectly square windows that looked incredibly modern. Back then, square shapes symbolized progress. Square houses, square televisions, square photographs. Of course, airplanes had to look square too. It felt futuristic. Then came a nightmare in January 1954. A comet disintegrated mid-air near Elba Island. No distress signal, just silence. A few months later, another comet broke apart near Naples. Two tragedies. Same aircraft model. No terrorism. No bad weather. Just a quiet sky, followed by a dry, devastating boom. The public panicked. Newspapers erupted. How could such an advanced machine destroy itself? And an uncomfortable question began to hover: was the sky's new idol hiding a deadly secret? To find the answer, investigators did something straight out of a detective film. They recovered fragments from the bottom of the Mediterranean Sea, piece by piece, rebuilding the aircraft's body like a life-and-death Lego puzzle. When the reconstructed fuselage stood inside a giant hangar, the truth finally emerged. The cracks began at the window corners. Airplanes cruise around 10,009 meters up, where the air is so thin that opening a door would make you lose consciousness within seconds. That's why the cabin is pressurized like a giant metal balloon. Every takeoff makes the fuselage expand slightly. Every landing lets it contract again. Sounds gentle, but imagine bending a metal spoon. Do it once, nothing happens. Do it thousands of times, it snaps. Aircraft metal behaves the same way. The problem lay in those perfect 90-degree corners. In physics, sharp angles don't share stress well. Pressure hitting a curve flows smoothly around it. But when it slams into a right angle, the force concentrates like a crowd trapped in a dead-end alley. The result, stress around the corners could become several times higher than the rest of the fuselage. The metal began to fatigue, then crack. A tiny fracture so small you might ignore it while fixing furniture at home became the spark for catastrophe at altitude. The pressure difference between inside and outside the cabin was like holding a sheet of paper in front of an industrial fan. Tear a tiny notch at the edge, and the whole sheet rips apart instantly. That's exactly what happened. After this discovery, the aviation industry hit pause. Not for temporary fixes, but for a complete redesign. Windows were no longer allowed to be square just for style. They had to be rounded, not because curves look softer, but because curved edges distribute stress evenly. No more deadly stress points. From that moment on, commercial aircraft adopted oval or circular windows. Look closely and you'll notice it's not just the windows. Doors are rounded too. Even structural reinforcements avoid sharp angles. Every flight today is backed by millions of pressurization cycles tested in laboratories. Engineers repeatedly inflate and depressurize aircraft fuselages like controlled torture tests, making sure no rebellious 90-degree corner is waiting to belay them. It sounds unsettling, doesn't it? Yet there's comfort in it too. Those painful accidents ended up saving millions of lives. Next time you sit by the window, don't just pull down the shade and fall asleep. Take a moment to look at that curved edge. It wasn't designed for decoration. It exists because of a lesson paid for with real lives. And if someone asks you why airplane windows are never square, you can smile and tell the story of the killer that was finally unmasked. As for me, I keep wondering if one tiny right angle could bring down a technological icon. What other sharp corners in our lives are we overlooking? Maybe we'll open another case file next time. For now, enjoy your flight, and maybe run your fingers along that curved edge. It's quietly helping keep you alive.